Hey there, folks. Welcome back to CYPTV. Share, like, leave a comment. Do one of those things to help push this channel forward out to the YouTube algorithm. I would greatly appreciate if you could do me that small favor. Now let's jump down this rabbit hole and get right to the videos.
Do you remember when the former head of Space Security Program claimed that there's a galactic federation and it's already been in contact with governments, and basically they're waiting for humanity to evolve enough and understand space for what it really is before fully presenting themselves? You remember that? Okay, watch this and then let's talk about something.
Well, this is quite a story, and it comes from the man who headed Space Security Program for nearly 30 years. Chaim Eshed is making the extraordinary claim that the United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years, not immigrants, but extraterrestrials. He has called them the Galactic Federation of Aliens, and he says President Trump is aware of the existence of these aliens and had been on the verge of revealing their secrets, he claims, but was asked not to do so by the Federation in order to prevent what he calls mass hysteria. Well, the retired general says the US and Israel have kept it from the public because, quotes, humanity isn't ready and the aliens don't want to reveal themselves until humanity can evolve, he says, and understand what space really is.
Okay, so on one level, it sounds almost comforting, right? Don't worry, they're benevolent, they're just looking out for us. We're just not ready yet. Well, here's a question. Who is actually deciding when we're evolved enough? Is it us or is it them? And what does understanding space for what it really is even mean, right? Because if that's true, it basically implies two things. Our current picture of reality is way off, which I believe it actually is in many ways, or someone, human or non-human, is actively managing what we're allowed to know. I'll also mention that he was 87 when he released these claims, and he, quote, had nothing to lose by doing so. So that's interesting. But if even part of what he stated is true, the question of who is deciding this for humanity is quite concerning. Does it concern you at all? Let me know.
That is quite concerning. And who's calling the shots here? Us or them? That's scary stuff right there, if that's true.
I got some awesome new UFO videos, me booshkis. An Italian radar engineer just went on a podcast and blew up everything we thought we knew about the pyramid. And everyone trying to debunk the discovery is right about radar, but still completely wrong. Italian radar engineer Filippo Biondi, the inventor of the patented SAR Doppler tomography method, went on Jesse Michaels' podcast this week and casually dropped what might be the most disrupted archaeological claim of our lifetime.
And I think it's important for people to understand your background as well. You do some work with the Italian military that's classified. You can't even speak about it, right? So it's clearly useful to them because they don't want anybody talking about it. Should I not even be asking about that? Okay. Forget it.
Using satellite-based synthetic aperture radar, not in the conventional way, but using vibrational-based Doppler tomography, his team says that this detected a large, highly structured anomaly beneath the Giza pyramids. And we aren't talking about tiny voids. According to the SAR data, multiple deep, vertical, cylindrical features appear beneath the Khafre pyramid, extended hundreds of feet downward, on the order of 600 plus feet, roughly twice the height of the Eiffel Tower. And these features appear symmetrically arranged and geometrically coherent, which is why they've drawn so much attention. If they are confirmed as real structures, they would exist far below anything traditionally associated with pyramid construction. And just to be clear, this does not mean satellites are seeing through stone. Method works by detecting microscopic vibrations inside massive structures. Earth's background seismic noise subtly changes how radar signals behave. By analysing those Doppler shifts across multiple satellite passes, the team reconstructs a 3D tomographic model of internal density contrasts. It's closer to listening than it is seeing. The technique is patented, peer-reviewed, and has been applied to dams, bridges, and other large structures. But applying it to the Giza pyramids is undeniably controversial. Egyptology does not yet have an explanation for what these deep symmetrical anomalies represent, and independent verification is still needed. But here's the key point most people get wrong. Saying radar can't see underground, and it does not address what the technique actually does. If these signals hold up under replication, they don't just challenge one pyramid theory. They challenge when, why, and how monumental architecture in Egypt even began. Now, every major discovery started as data that everyone ignored, and it doesn't scare us because it might be wrong, it scares us because this might actually end up being real and a true thing that is really existing under the pyramids, mate. And what's the first question you would ask if you could look underground, mate? You let me know down below, and stay tuned for more, mate, because this is just getting even more just mind-blowing by the day.
I'm pretty sure they already started exploring what's down there. Why are they holding it back from us? I'm guessing it's because it's going to expose all the lies they've been feeding us throughout the years. Let me know what you think. You think they went down there already, or they just not checking it, which makes no sense?
So y'all, it's not just the moon that people are catching that's looking at normally weird. I said people like I'm not one of the ones that's doing it. But look at the sun that's rising in Russia. What the heck is going on here? How many suns do Russia got right now? Yeah, I got a collection of videos and photos for you to watch, man. Stick with me because this is going to get crazy, y'all. Look at this. So this is Russia. Here go another picture from Russia, y'all. People are posting the sun like crazy in Russia because they're trying to figure out what the hell is this thing, y'all. This is the sun, but why does it have two other suns with it? And what is this ring around it? And why is this huge orb around it? What are they not telling us? Here go another angle. I told y'all everyone in Russia was posting this because they're like, what is this? In another one in Russia, this one looks a lot brighter, maybe the different positioning of the person taking the picture, but check this out, y'all. Now check out this video this lady recorded in Thailand of the so-called sun, y'all. Look at this. Why does it look like the moon last night? Why does it look like the moon with the giant orb in the light right here as well? And y'all notice something about the clouds? As soon as they get underneath the sun, they disperse. Look at this. What is this all about? Look at this, y'all. What the helly? Check out this video from Vietnam, y'all. Look at this. It's a whole portal up there, y'all. There's a whole nother world behind there. Is this where we're going to? Is this where we're going to? This one in Ghana is gonna blow your mind, y'all. I have never seen the sun looking like this. What in the world is this? You can see it clear as day, y'all. What is going on? Oh my goodness. This thing is crazy. This is in Ghana. They took this the other day. And I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, bro, that's just a sundog. But y'all realize we've been lied to about everything. NASA means to be deceived. It's a lie. So what really is this? What are they hiding from us? Why does this thing look like a magic crystal ball? This was just last month in Australia. Look at this. Look at this. What is this? Look at what someone posted under my video, y'all. Look at this. The sun looks like a giant eye. Look at this. The pupil, that little star that be in your eye. Look at this. There's so many sources of light over here. If you can't see that this one looks like a giant literal eye, I don't know what to tell you, because look at this. Look at the iris. Look at the pupil. Look at this, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the striations within the iris. Y'all see that, man? Is this what they mean when they're talking about AI? Because the sun literally looks like an eye, y'all. And I believe it's going to get a lot clearer for us. Clear eyes. Remember that? Oh my God. Because what is it doing over here? Look at this, y'all. I believe we're going to find out some crazy things about our sun pretty soon, y'all. Because once again, why is our sun mirroring our moon? Y'all see that? Why is the same giant orb that be behind the sun also be behind the moon? Who can explain that to me? Who? Don't worry about it. I already know the reason why. But yes, y'all. The moon is acting strange, and so is the sun, and everybody's catching it. Let me know down in the comments below what y'all think about this. The shift is here, and it's accelerating. I've been telling y'all. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
If you're enjoying this video, I put several videos out a week. It'll be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video.
Chinese parents in Yang have discovered why their 3-year-old daughter does not look like them. As you can see, she is blonde and has blue eyes and does not appear like those in China normally. She was born in 2022, and her parents began to think that the hospital had changed their daughter. They began to perform DNA tests, which confirmed that she is indeed their biological daughter. So they started looking into their family's genetic history. They did not know anyone with these characteristics among their ancestors. It turned out that they discovered that their daughter's paternal great-grandfather was Russian. His great-grandfather married a woman in China, and that is where their daughter's genes come from. They also said that the genes inherited from their great-grandfather that affect these features are apparently inactive in males, since all previous births in their family were male, and no one showed this trait. But somehow the genetic traits had remained hidden for generations until the daughter of this Chinese couple arrived.
We are picking a passenger called Betty up. No one over here.
Siento que la sangre está saliendo de mi nariz.
I gotta speak English.
Ya lo hice.
You're already speaking English?
Sí.
You're speaking Spanish.
No.
I don't even know where you learned Spanish.
Otra vez.
Look, baby cakes, is this creature the dog man? Walking around skeet scatting shab dabbing? I don't know, but it's something else. Now that video, as grainy as it is, was just captured in North Carolina. And when you look at the still images, it does look like what's described as the dog man. Half dog, half man. Woohoo! But what do you think, Fushkis? Let me know in the comment section. Shabadoo!
If that was real footage, that was just weird. The way he was walking hunched over like that. Where was the balance to that creature? Real or fake? Fact or fiction? You decide.
Bruh, at this point, I'm convinced that Earth is spawning new creatures. It's like we living in an update, fool. Because what am I looking at? Is this supposed to be a praying mantis, a scorpion, and a wasp mixed? Fusion, huh? This ain't Dragon Ball Z. But these three creatures combined, that's what it looked like. Tell me I'm tripping. Look at the arms, look at the legs, the body, and then look at the back. And this is not AI, fool. I don't know what Buddy's on recording. I would have smashed that junk. ASAP. It's like every month we're discovering some new type of creature, some alien type mutated bugs. And if I had to take a wild guess at where this insect was on the planet, I'll say Australia. And the crazy part is, scientists out here saying that this is normal. Normal where? I never seen or heard of this. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Have you seen one of these? Like I always say, I don't know what timeline we in, but I don't like this DLC update.
That's normal? I've never seen anything like that in my life. Are the insects mixing together and coming out with babies like this?
What if I told you that the map you've been reading is lying to you? If you look at maps dating from 1325 to the 1800s, you'll notice a strange circular landmass in the Atlantic Ocean, just west of Ireland. Known only as Hyberzil, this place was said to be a land of godlike beings, allegedly only appearing once every 7 years. People who set out to find it often never returned, and the ones who did came back saying the island doesn't exist. However, after the 1800s, modern maps simply denied the existence of this island, as if it never existed. But the story doesn't stop there, because on December 26, 1980, 2 U.S. Air Force airmen responded to reports of strange lights over Rendlesham Forest in England. They thought a plane had crashed, but what they found wasn't a plane. In the trees, a triangular craft hovered just above the ground, glowing blue and red. As they approached, their radios died, and then the craft lifted silently into the air and vanished. Well, you see, one airman, Jim Peniston, claimed the craft telepathically left him with binary code he couldn't stop writing. And when decoded, the numbers pointed to a location in the Atlantic Ocean, the exact spot where Hyberzil appeared on centuries of maps. I've uploaded all my research and evidence on the strange island into the members community for you to decide for yourself. But maybe the real question we should be asking is, if this island didn't exist, why was it charted consistently for over 500 years and then intentionally removed? Was it really just a cartographic error, or is there something on that island we were never meant to know about?
En este momento en el microhospital escuchamos un golpe y nos dimos vuelta porque dijimos, bueno, ¿quién está entrando? Cuestión de que no hay nadie atrás nuestro. Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues el auto... ¿Qué mierda es? Lo peor de todo es que no queremos salir. O sea, no... Miedo, la puta madre. Lo peor de todo es que se mueve adentro del auto y no hay nadie. O sea, ahora vamos a ir a controlar el auto. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo. La puta madre. No, boludo. Ya, salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. Mamá, la piel de gallina, hermano. Piel de gallina. Cagazo. Nadie. Nadie. Bien. Nadie. Un montón. Es un montón. Mierda. Y encima nos mira la puta que te parió. No, no. Desapareció. La concha de...
It looks to me like your car is haunted, buddy. You got a ghost passenger in there.
What people call the black sun, the core, is actually projecting a map on the moon of the earthly realm. And this is where you'll see here. You need to think about mirror as a projection. And when you flip the moon in reverse, you'll see that it holds an entire map of the realm that we live within. Has all the continents, everything's there. And this is not just, like I said, I want to give you guys actual things that you could see visually and you could do for yourself. But when you're out of your body and you're accessing the other side, all this is available to you and all this is visible and seen for what it really is. I know a lot of people may not like to hear truth because it's harder for someone to tell you you've been lied to your entire life when truth is finally revealed to you. The moon is an entire mapping system of the realm that we live within, and also the realm that's pretty much cut off from us. There's other land masses. It's not just Australia, America, and all the continents that they tell you that is here. And you can access these when you're out of your body and see it. When people want to look at, get a better visualization of constructs, these are some images here that you could visually look at to get a better understanding, like seeing it. When you see something as I talk, sometimes it just clicks. The image on the left is essentially the construct of what I was showing in the beginning, but a single construct has multi-dimensional spaces and realms within a single construct. The one that we're in has 12, right? This is also where it goes into all the ancient civilizations have known about this. A lot of the history, this is what I said before, in the ancient texts, a lot of the texts are actually true, but they hold a lot of distortions because a lot of the texts in truth of the records have been destroyed within this realm. This is where you get the reset of things. This is where you get the giants and all those things. That was all here, but it has been wiped, the records. And so there's still, when you read books or you go into that, you could still find some truth, right? And it's still there. But when you leave your body and you access the other side, you access the records because all things, everything is available to all of us. That's all the information. Nothing is never truly lost.
So I saw this on Twitter the other day, and it's funny because a lot of people said it was bullcrap, but it's the way the pyramids were built according to artificial intelligence. And if anything, this is the closest thing to the truth that we even have. The only thing I would debate with this video is that there were many giants in that day. The Bible says that there were giants in those days and the days after that. We had giants all in the book of Exodus as well. We found all the giant skeletons all around the world. And the Smithsonian Museum has been trying to hide that giants existed. But here's the big problem. We don't actually know when the Great Pyramids were built. They could have literally been built 300-400 years ago in Tartaria. We have no idea because everything they've told us is a lie. But we do know that these superhuman, these Nephilim, fallen angel hybrid offspring, we know that these things were incredibly powerful, probably the way the pyramids were built.
What if I told you Christianity started as a secret society? And that's not conspiracy theory, that's the church's own admission. Let's bring in someone named J.D. Buck, who is a 33rd degree Freemason. The 33rd degree is the highest level you can reach. See, in the earliest centuries, Christianity had a kind of two-level system. The public teachings for everyone, and then the secret teachings for the few. But Buck is flat out telling you, Christianity had secret teachings handed down by degrees, just like Freemasonry and other secret societies, but that hardly any Christians know about it. Okay, cool. So let's put the Freemasons aside for a second and go straight to the church fathers themselves. Let's talk about Origen. He's not just some side character. He's one of the most important early Christian thinkers, period. And guess what? Even he admits that Christianity had secret teachings while trying to deny it at the same time. But Origen isn't talking about geometry. He's talking about Pythagoras the leader. Initiates in the Pythagorean school had to take vows of silence. They were forbidden to speak for 5 years and took vows of secrecy and even recognized each other with the pentagram symbol. So when Origen says some of the hearers of Pythagoras were satisfied with his simple sayings, but others were taught in secret the doctrines not fit for unprepared ears, he's comparing Christianity's inner circle to an actual ancient mystery school. You had to prove yourself, pass tests, keep secrets, and only then were you shown the deeper hidden layer.
Take a look at this footage that's coming out of Philadelphia. This was captured by an unidentified man who heard what sounded like an animal in pain. So of course he went to investigate. And what he sees in that alley absolutely terrifies him because the only thing he can think of is a hellhound. And the sound that this thing is making, it's almost like it is intentionally trying to draw in prey. I don't think this is a normal dog. Take a look at this video, comment below, tell me what you think.
That was in Philadelphia? And if you see something like that, would you get near it?
The divine is not separate from nature. The divine is the structure of light itself. For centuries, mystics pointed to a hidden structure in the center of the brain, a tiny crystalline gland shaped like an eye, buried deep beneath layers of tissue. They claimed it was the organ through which divine light entered the human being. Most dismissed this as spiritual metaphor, an artifact of pre-scientific imagination. But the transcript reveals something unsettling. The man who first identified this gland as the meeting point between God and humanity wasn't a priest or a mystic. It was René Descartes, the father of modern philosophy and a pioneer in optical science. Before he made his famous declaration, "I think, therefore I am," Descartes spent years studying light, its angles, its reflections, its behavior when passing through different materials. He discovered the fundamental law of reflection, measured the geometry of incidence and refraction, and laid the groundwork for the universal theory of illumination. This wasn't a man prone to mystical leaps. He believed only what he could prove through logic, experimentation, and mathematical precision. Yet he concluded unequivocally that the pineal gland is where the light of God interfaces with human consciousness. Why? Because the pineal isn't ordinary tissue. It contains crystal-like structures capable of interacting with electromagnetic fields. In other words, it behaves like a biological prism, a living filter capable of altering the polarization of incoming light. Exactly the mechanism needed for B to enter A, for messenger photons to align with human perception. exactly the same process that occurred in the Austrian experiment when C shifted its angle to recreate A after death. The transcript emphasizes how remarkable this is. A scientist who revolutionized optics concluded that the divine intersects with humanity at the only structure in the brain that behaves like a light processing organ. Modern research confirms that the pineal gland responds to subtle electromagnetic changes, generates its own photons, and may even contain structures resembling retinal tissue. In other words, the ancients weren't speaking in riddles when they called it the third eye. They were describing its literal function. And when Descartes claimed this was the gateway to God, he wasn't speculating. He was extrapolating from optical physics, from the behavior of angles, from the way light moves through mediums, and from the realization that consciousness must interact with the world through a mechanism consistent with the laws of photonic exchange. If the universe speaks through angles of light, then the pineal gland is the doorway where that message is received.
The moon is a spaceship. It was built on Jupiter about 38 million years ago. Now, it doesn't have its own propulsion. It has to be towed. Our moon was towed into its orbit now about 15,000 years ago, just after the Ice Age. And when man first became aware of the skies, there was no moon, and then there was 2 moons, and then there was 1 moon. And we think that the 2 moons was the vehicle that towed our moon into space. Howard Menger wrote a book called From Outer Space to You, and when I read the book, I thought it was really great. Found out that not only he was invited up there, but there was a number of other people, scientists. They take them all around the moon. There's a train that travels to what he calls a copper highway, and he doesn't know how it goes, but it's very silent and goes very fast. Very nice people, very advanced, and they've taken, like I say, they've taken thousands of people over the years. People don't say that, won't tell their story, because they know that they won't be believed. Our solar system, we're told by NASA there's 9 planets. There's actually 40. There's the Earth plus 39. And each of those planets has a civilization, and each of those planets has moons that have civilization.
When you look at Sean Combs, he was an FBI informant until he was arrested. He was an FBI informant going back to the 1990s. So why did the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security raid his house here in Holmby Hills? Thousands of videotapes of senators, congressmen, okay, including people like Hakeem Jeffries now is on those tapes. Why do you think President Trump got his tax bill passed? Now, President Trump can reveal the Epstein and the Diddy list, but he's smart. He says, I'm keeping this. You see?
That's a leverage.
Leverage. And so Diddy is going down, okay? People like Stephen A. Snitch, okay? His best friend, Stephen A. Snitch, is a boule. Okay, I met him 2 years ago at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Nice guy, but he is what we call a house Negro. Okay,
what does this mean?
A house Negro is a person, a boule, that protects the gate of its master. A house Negro, as Malcolm X says, protects the system of its master. Stephen A. Snitch used to say, I'm so excited about making money for my bosses. Okay, so Disney, okay, pedophiles and ESPN. And if you are pro-Trump, they will fire you. Okay, another topic for another day. So then, Stephen A. Snitch is a boule. Okay, so all of these people, these Black journalists like Gabby Phillips on the Crack News Network, they're boules, okay? Gayle King, of CBS News, shortly after Kobe was assassinated, she interviewed a former WNBA player who was great friends with Kobe, Lisa Leslie, and was asking Lisa Leslie, did Kobe rape that girl and call her, bashing the reputation of Kobe Bryant. Why? Because boules do this, and then right after that interview, Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey's girlfriend, gets a $500,000 raise. This is what they do. They don't care about us. These gatekeepers, I'm telling you, Reverend Al, Vitamin B Deficient Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Benjamin Crump, Farrakhan, they're all a part of the Boule Secret Society.
So we have this huge club, right? So Skull and Bones, then we have the Boulets, we have all the names, you name it. Clintons, Bidens, Obamas. Who's not in the club from this administration? But because it feels like this administration with Trump and J.D. Vance and all those guys, it's like they're the opposite of those, but they're in their club of their own. That's what it feels like.
You know what? They are, but they're not a part of the Illuminati. They're not a part of Phi Beta Kappa or Kappa Beta Phi, but they're playing the game. That's how they got into power.